All right, we are live. Hello, everybody. My name is Chris, and this is my channel, Barn on 11970. Thank you, as always, for anybody out there taking the time to listen to what I have to say. And I wanted to ask a question to my subscribers, see what you thought about this situation that happened to me today, because it's been bugging me for the past 3 or 4 hours when I witnessed what I witnessed. It is currently 8:42 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 22nd of March, 2017. Now, if you follow my channel, you pretty much know that I am a lover of animals. I feel anyone that's cruel to animals is just a disgusting person. I really just wish I had the funds to be able to take care of pretty much every animal on the planet. I am a vegetarian that on occasion has eaten meat and just gotten sick from it. And there's something about animals. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I have three stray cats. One I found on Mother's Day of 2010 in my basement as a kitten. That was my first cat, Shy. A second cat, Oregon, who I found on Father's Day, the year that my father died in a fire. And we found him in his car that was in the front of my house in 2012, I believe. And then a year and a half, 2 years ago, we open up the front door in the middle of a blizzard, and in comes what would eventually end up being our third cat, who we named Luna. So animals seem to find my house for some reason. I guess because maybe they can sense how much I care about them, but it's definitely a burden, and something I saw today just really bothers me. I was in the backyard, um, just where we have our basement, where you guys know, if you've been following my channel, know that we have to replace our water heater slash oil burner, and we have to clean up a lot of, make room for them to be able to bring the old burner out and in. So I was doing some work, and the entrance to our basement is through doors on the outside. And as I was coming up and throwing away a couple of things, I saw this raccoon in my backyard. And something just didn't seem right, because normally if you see a raccoon and they see you, they pretty much take off. And that didn't happen with this one. And it ends up, as I approach it, it's obvious that it must have been hit by a car or something, because it had no use of its back legs. It was basically, it didn't even look like it was in pain. It looked like it was bleeding. So I don't know if it was hit by a car or not, but it basically looked like its rear quarter was crushed, because he was basically just crawling with his just front paws with absolute no use of its back legs. It basically looked like they were rendered useless. And I tried to approach it, and it kind of looked at me, and it's haunting me, the stare that it and I encountered. And I wanted to help it so bad. And it ended up, as I drew near, it started crawling away as fast as it could, because obviously it was scared. And when an animal is in that kind of situation, it pretty much knows it's going to be subject to predators. And it probably viewed me as that. So I ended up realizing that there was a broken window that opened up to a crawl space in my basement that I was not aware of. And it crawled basically into that crawl space. Now, this happened only a couple of hours ago, but it was late enough to the point where I can't call animal control. Now, here's the thing that's bothering me, and I wanted to ask your advice, because there's such a burden on me right now, because I emotionally care so much about animals, that there are two situations that can happen. Either one, this animal is going to die, and I have this on my mind right now. And I went and I got an apple and I got some of my cat food, because they said they'll eat that stuff. And I just threw the apple down into that crawl space and a plate of food. So at least I had something, because obviously this thing's going to not be able to catch food on its own. Um, Two scenarios are going to happen. Either it's going to die on its own, because it's not really going to be able to fend for itself and it's going to probably starve to death. Or if I called animal control, if that's even still in the basement tomorrow or still alive, basically, if they find it, they're going to say there's nothing you can do about it, and they're going to euthanize it. So the burden on me is basically, no matter what happens, this animal's going to die. And the interaction I had with this thing just we would just literally for like, it seemed like an eternity, but it's literally probably 15 seconds. We were looking eye to eye. I could have literally jumped at it, but obviously I'm not going to jump after a raccoon because it could have potentially have rabies and it could try and bite. So I basically just have this mental image of this poor creature that is right now under my crawl space, which is pretty much right where I'm sitting right now, knowing that this thing's going to die no matter what. So my basic thing is I wanted to ask the advice of what you guys would do because the thing that bothers me the most is there's nothing I can do for this thing. I mean, obviously I don't have the money to save it, and I don't even think they could anyway because, like I said, it literally looked like its rear hindquarters. It was just literally dragging them like it didn't even have use of them. It was just the saddest thing I've ever seen. So I'm sure they would just say the best thing is to be putting it out of its misery. But like I said, by the time I saw this, it was too late. Animal control is closed at a certain point where we are. So they would basically, because I've had a situation that happened a couple of summers ago about a bird I found on the beach. But it's just like my house seems to draw in animals. Like I said, I have three stray cats. All three were found, one in my basement, one in my father's car. The summer he died, in his car, was hanging out by the engine and wouldn't leave from it. And then one, literally, I opened the door to have it just walk inside. And I even kid around with my wife all the time. It's like, I'm almost afraid to open the door. And it's funny, I just talked about my cat Oregon and just coming over here, which is funny because I guess cats can sense these things or animals can sense these things because I've been walking around basically miserable. It's like, for me to have to see that and know there's nothing I can do, and my cat keeps coming over to me, I guess to kind of comfort me. But I basically put out, so I researched what raccoons eat. They pretty much will eat anything. So I put a big plate of our cat food down there, and I threw down an apple. But I would love to know what your advice is, because the thing that bothers me, and it's going to haunt me now, is no matter what I do, this animal's going to die. So there's nothing I can do about it. And it just bothers me as an animal lover to know that I can't do anything. And it just bothers me. So my wife is asleep because she works at night, so I have nobody to talk to about this right at the moment. It's really bothering me. So I wanted to ask advice, and I'm just going to end the video now because I got it out a little bit, and I'll read the comments after it's done. But I'd just love to know what you guys would think to do. Because even if I call animal control tomorrow, there's no guarantee that it's still in there. And even if it is, I don't know how they'd get it because it's literally a 1 foot by 6 inch window, and it's a crawl space that's completely, I mean, you couldn't get in there. So I don't know what they'd be able to do even if I called the animal control. So I don't know. It's just kind of damned if I do and damned if I don't. So it's just almost like a cruel joke that being an animal lover, know that no matter what I do, this animal's going to die. And just that connection with me looking at this animal eye to eye, because I mean, normally raccoons, they'll hiss at you. They don't want to stare at you. This one just had this look like it knew it knew, and I just couldn't do anything about it. So it just bothers me as an animal lover to have to see that. And I'm sure you can hear it in my voice that it's killing me inside. So I had to at least talk about it. And I'd love to hear your advice. So I'm just going to go for now, and thank you guys for listening.